got it. Share screen. All right, so our plan for today is just to get through the reminders app in lesson 4. Let's see if we can do this. We even if you went ahead and this on your own, congrats. But there is definitely going to be some features in this app that I'm going to have you add that it doesn't have right away. I'm pretty sure. Let's see what we got. All right, so hit run. Really nothing works, although add somehow works. All right, so right off the bat, we are not going to allow this. Assuming, give me a second, do we have conditionals available to us? And we do. Okay, so stick with me, folks. You'll notice right away that even if the list is empty, if you hit add, it puts something on the list. Hit again, and it goes like that. Okay, so let's pretend that does work, and let's just use it as is. Okay, we hit add, and we have something. Okay, the left and right don't work, but we do have something again. Add something else. Okay, what's your question? No, this is a single screen app. But you'll notice that I just added something and it stayed on item 1. Okay. Well, you can tell this app is sort of serviceable in that when you add something, it adds something to it. But let's say I'm on item 2. Well, first you'll notice that it has bracketed edges or blocked edges where you can't go around. It stops at however many there are. And which we're going to add a wraparound feature where we've done that before. And then also, what else are we going to do? Also, okay, so let's say I'm on the second. First of all, you can see I'm on item 1, but you don't know how many are there. That's certainly a shortfall of this. I would like to see 1 out of, or 1 slash however many there are. I think that's a much more useful app. Also, let's say I'm on the second of, I don't know how many, and I add 1 to it, it stays on the second one. I think that is not a good app design. I think you should, if you add something to something, if you add an item to the list, it probably should pop to the last item of the list or show you that you type something in. I mean, the stuff's there, but you don't know. Okay, so features to add are not just the item number, but item out of certain number. And you guys know how that's going to go. It's going to be something, the list.length. That's how many items are on the list. And the index will be whichever item we're on. And I do want it to pop to the last one whenever you hit add. So let's see what we got. All right, so first let's go ahead and see what we've got. What do we need to keep track of? Well, obviously we have a list. And in fact, I'm just going to declare with this because it's going to be an empty list of our items. And let's start it with an empty list. Just open, close bracket. We are currently making a video for this. So still, you should probably, why don't you just put your phone away and pay attention. There you go. And so we have an empty list. I also want a variable to keep track of what index we're looking at and have it bounce back and forth based on what have you. So I'm not going to call it index because let's just call it current index or current item, something that makes sense. current index, and we'll start at 0. Even though technically there's nothing there. Let's I want some white space to play around with. Switch it to blocks like that. All right. So let's these are our main things we're keeping track of, where we are in the list and our full list of items. Let's what do we want here? Let's get some event handlers. We only have 3 possible events, and those are add, left button, right button. And I'm going to do the add one first. That's going to have the most stuff in it. So when the add button is clicked, we are going to do our full whatever. And then the other ones are left button click and right button click. And well, we definitely are going to have some sort of update screen function. So our main function is going to just be update screen. What do you got?
Is it supposed to jump to the last item?
Yes. On add, we're going to set it to the last item.
Okay.
So what do we want on update screen? Well, update screen, we definitely want to set the text, or I guess just set property fine, of our reminder output. We want to set the reminder output to set its text to what item, whatever item, the list is called items at index, current index, INDX. There's something wrong with my keyboard. Current index. The problem is that right now there's nothing in the list called items, so we can't really call it yet, but that's fine. Update screen will only be called inside of the event handlers. So, and we also, well, we'll get to this thing in a second, but we know this is going to be our main output. Let's figure this out. Well, let's just work through this. We need to get the user's text, but we want to make sure, let's just, let's use a local variable. New item is going to be the get text of reminder inputs. Okay. But here is that problem before, where if the user has a empty string, this is what happened before, you hit add, it would add a blank. So we need some sort of conditional saying if let's do this first. So we're getting the new item from the text. If new item does not equal empty string, then we can add it to our list. So we want append item. The name of the list is items, and the new item is called new item. So every time we click the add button, we are gathering what the user typed in, but we don't want to add it to the list or do anything else unless there's something there. Okay, we're saying is only if whatever we got as the text isn't an empty string, then we can continue on with adding it to the list. And we'll probably call update screen inside of here. And let's see what else. Update screen. Let's see what happens if we have right now. I'm not even sure if this is going to work. Set property current. Oh, we're not setting reminder input. We're setting reminder output. Hey, we got a thing. Yeah, yes. All right. Automatically, we are seeing that it's not clearing out. So let's just take care of that. Anytime we update screen, we want to clear out the input. So let's set reminder input, set its text to an empty string. And that'll give us the clear out. Fantastic. Excuse me. Okay, so if I'm going to put a console.log here just to show something, console.log items. And if I run it and add something to it, okay, I have my list here. Now add something else to it. And I've added two things and my list has two items in it, but it's still on the first one. I want anytime we add something new, I want it to set the current index and have it show the most recent thing. So that means here we need to update current index to the last index, the last item on the list, which is items.length -1. Okay, so we have one thing and another thing. Good, and it's updating. Okay, so we're getting pretty close, actually. It's always updating to the last thing. Fantastic. We do need the ability to control back and forth with our left buttons, but I want to deal with the counter output first. And that's something that needs to be updated anytime something happens. So it's going to go in the update screen. Let us set the text of count output, set its text to, well, it's definitely going to be a concatenation of current index over total number of items, but we need to make sure it's combined with a slash, otherwise it will like do the math. Because if you did current index plus list.length, it would think those are two numbers, it would want to add those numbers, which is not, doesn't make sense. But the thing is, current index is what we're using to keep track of where we are on the list. And that starts from 0, but we want our user to think the first item is item 1. So that's going to be current index +1 is going to be the top of our little text area. So it'd be cur index +1. And I think this should probably be in quotes. I mean, not in quotes, in parentheses, so that it does that math. So current index +1 that's the math. Then we want to concat that with a /. That looks weird. It looks like a face. And after that, we want, so if the first item on the list is index 0, but we want to say 1 out of however many items there are. So it's items.length, but it's not items.length number 1 at -1, because it's just how many there are, and how many there are is just .length. So items.length. And let's see what happens. So we add something, 1 out of 1, 2 out of 2, and it's always going to the last one. So it will always be however many there are at this point. Okay, so we are on always on the last one. So this is actually going rather quickly. Maybe we can add some sort of clear. No, it's fine. Let's do our left and right controls. So we are going to account for wrapping around the list. The problem I see is, and these are going to be identical, and they're going to be if-else statements. The problem is that if we hit run right away and the user clicks on an arrow left or right, before there's anything in the list, whatever's in our list is going to break it. So we need to protect the user from themselves by, before we do anything, we're going to wrap these entire buttons in, or everything that goes in the button is going to be wrapped with a if the length of the list is at least if there's something in it. So we don't want either of these buttons to work if the list is empty. Okay, so before we even put anything in them, it's going to be if items dot length is greater than 0. And the same thing here, if items dot length is greater than 0. Because we need both of these buttons to have an update screen call. And if we try to call an update screen that uses, gets the item from items at current index and its items is empty, that will be an error. So you need to protect the functions by blocking it sort of off with our conditional here, make items.length is greater than 0 if there's something in items. And we're really just going to kind of ignore that conditional for the rest of the time. It's just think of it as like, the perimeter of the situation. All right, so now we need to work with the ability to change the current index. Either left will have the index go down and right will have the index go up. But here we are checking to see if there is room to go to the left or to the right, because we're going to do that thing where if there's room to go to the left, if there's room to have current index go down by 1, we will have it go down by 1. Otherwise, we want it to go to the last item on the list and do the wraparound thing. And it will be the exact same except the opposite for the right button. So what is our condition? Our condition is if current index is greater than 0, and if it helps to spell things correctly, index is greater than 0, we can have current index go down by 1. Current index gets current index minus 1. And if it's not greater than 0, meaning it is 0, because our index is just going up and down by 1, that's the only way we're controlling it, we want to set it to the last item in the list, or the last index in the list. Current index gets items dot length minus 1. And this should kind of work. Nope, because we're not updating screen yet. So there you go. And let's see what else we have. Oh yeah, and let's just go ahead and call our update screen here, making sure that it's inside of our main conditional, because we don't want this button to work if the list is empty. So let's call our function update screen. Let's invoke screen. Okay, let's add things. Holy moly, it works. I guess I shouldn't be that surprised. Okay, and the other direction, okay, we want to go to the right if current index is less than, what's the last item on the list? Items dot length -1. Okay, if it's less than, if it's before the last item on the list, we can go ahead and add one to it. Cur index gets cur index +1. Otherwise, let's set it back to 0, wrap it around. It's 0. And we are actually going to add a delete button. There's some good functionality to that. Let's and did I type the same button mash twice in a row? That's impossible. Okay, and go around. It goes around this way. Oh no, didn't call update screen. That's what's happened. Okay, we have our right button is doing the same thing. It's checking if there's room to go to the right, but we then need to update the screen. No, it was just not updating the screen.
Oh.
There we go, all the way around to the right. Okay, what happens if I add, okay, I'm on item 2 of 3. Let's add one. Good, and it automatically goes around. But it automatically goes to the last item, or whatever the newest item is. What do you got?
Is it supposed to loop around?
Yes. That's the whole point of this if-else statement. If we just wanted it to bracket off, we wouldn't have, it would just be an if statement. The else setting it back to 0 is what allows it to go all the way around.
Okay, I'll make that adjustment to my code.
Go for it.
Because right now mine just brackets off.
Gotcha. All right. So that's the most of it, but I want to add a remove button. And I want it to be the same size as this button. And the way to do that, the easiest way to do that, okay, we're in design mode. Click on this button, there's the add button. If you click duplicate, it will make it all the same properties. It obviously has a different name. Let's call it delete button. And let's space it so it's a little prettier. And let's have it say remove. Okay, and so let's add a event handler for remove button. On event, when remove button or delete button is clicked, we have the same issue. We don't want this button to work before there's anything in the list. So we need to add our conditional, the same conditional we have in the left and right buttons. We don't want it to work. So we're going to say if items.length is greater than 0, then we can do some stuff. Otherwise, delete button is pointless. So what do we want it to do? We want it to remove the item of the current index. So remove item from items at index, current index. And I guess just update screen, right? Because we have everything built into our update screen function. What do you got?
What about if you remove the last item?
What do you mean?
And now try removing all of them. If you click remove again.
Give me a second to debug. Okay, relax. We are calling update screen. Oh, we then need to, I've not rearranged current index. It's true. If you remove the last item, if you're on the last item and you remove it, hold on, I got you. Just thank you. All right. So yes, if you get to 0 items and you remove something, what is happening? I've removed the current item, but I'm not changing current index. We could just always set current index to the beginning, or just have it go down by 1, because that way there'll always be 1. And when we call update screen and want current index to pick one of the items, if we're on the last item, we delete it, our current index is past the edge of the list. But if we move 1 down, we'll always be on the list unless the list is empty. So we're going to have to put a conditional in the update screen to give us a condition with an empty list. First, let's do the move the current index down. Current index gets current index minus 1. Okay, that should do a thing. Okay, we're still working all the way around. Let's remove 2 of 3. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so that didn't quite do it because we keep moving down. Because if we move the first one and go down 1, we're then at index -0 or -1. So we can't do this. Let's just set current index to 0. Well, whenever you remove an item, it will just pop to the top of the list. Okay, so we still wrap around. Remove item, it goes to the beginning. Move item, it goes to the beginning. Move item, it breaks. All right. So this is setting it. Anytime we click our delete button, we are resetting our current index to the top of the list. So that will work. But we now have the problem of we have the property or the issue of when we delete all of them, we have problems. So let's put all of this in a conditional. We only want our update screen to work if there's something in the list. If items.length is greater than 0, we can then do all of these things. Okay, those are all of our update stuff, and that's good. Otherwise, meaning if the list is empty, let's just have it say add items, add reminders. Set property of output, reminder output, set its text to add reminders. And okay, and we need to clear out this. In fact, let's just set its text to an empty string. In other words, clear it out. This is count output. Set count output. Set count output. Set its text. Yep. And so let's see here. We add. Goes all the way around. Remove this item, 1 of 2. This item, 1 of 1. Remove this item. Clears it out. I think this is working more or less. What happens if, oh, that's weird. If you put something in the text box and click the left or right arrow before adding it, it clears it out. And that's because we're calling the current, we're calling update screen, which clears out that text area. I guess that's not really a bug. That's just like, I don't want another conditional. I guess that works. Anytime you add something, no matter what your current index, it goes to the last item or the newest item. And anytime you remove something, it goes to the first item. I think that's pretty good. Should we ship it? I think we should ship it. Ship it. All right. And anybody think of any other features they think would make this work better? I'm open to suggestions. Oh, you want some sound effects? Yeah, let's find a good sound effect. Good idea. Let's do we have play sound in here?
You don't need the block for play sound.
Yeah. Let's see if we can find what the actual sound block looks like. Did you just type in code, play sound?
Yes.
Let's go applab. Sure. Yep. And what does the text for play sound look like? It is just play sound and then parentheses, the name of the sound and then false. I'll just go ahead and copy this over. And let's, I want one for the right button, which will be like this. And let's see what happens at go like this. Okay. And all right, so what's a better sound for right button? We'll call this part optional. Cartoon. you know what? I'll spare you guys the search for the best sound. I don't know. I think that's pretty good. Up and down. Let's make this the down and this the up. Okay, I'll copy this. Have our left button do this. Sound category button 1 is what it was called. Yeah, that's not too bad. Anytime you guys are adding sound to your apps, like put a little effort into it and choose ones that make sense. Don't just get ridiculous. But I don't know. I guess that's an opinion situation. So we need button sounds for up or add and delete. Let's find a good delete button sound. Achievements, bell, digital explosion. Poof. Nah.
Is a sound requirement?
No.
I don't think everybody wants their eardrums to be subject to that.
What is this? I'm playing. I needed a delete sound. Someone give me a good delete sound.
The first one in explosion.
That's a little heavy-handed. That's not too bad. No, that's too much. Too much. What is collect? That's kind of deletey, even though it's coin pickup. Although you think coin pickup, it's a little strong. Let's find a good add button sound. Let's choose achievements. Too long. We definitely are only interested in 1 second. Too much. I like the ones that are less than 1 second. That's an ad. There we go. We'll call that one the ad. And there we go. All right, ship it. All right, so everything up until but not quite the sound is requirement, even though it goes further than the example. In case you forgot, being able to wrap around requirement, having a remove button requirement, having the count output display the current item in the list out of how many items there are. Quite proud of this. Well, medium proud. Okay. If you have any questions, let me know. Yes, a delete button is a requirement, or remove button.